Our director.
We can just start like the process.
All right, we're live. Like 400.
Okay. I'm going to call to order the annual reorganization meeting of the Hastings and Hudson Board of Education. Hey, David. Mics are live, by the way. And
I know, it's insane, right?
we're going to begin the reorganization by administering the oath of office to the newly elected trustees. So, one of which,
Where's Teresa?
Teresa's coming.
In front of you to read.
Do you want to do us separately or together?
No, you could read yours and then Teresa.
She went to the restroom.
Oh, and then when Teresa comes, she can read hers. Then she'll come again.
Should I just, right here? I don't have to like do this, do I? I do. You
can.
I do, I know. I should tell my kids to watch this.
Do you want me to take a picture?
No.
Teresa, you're going to be next. We're doing the
Watch tonight.
the oath of office. So Teresa, this is the new oath of office for the newly elected trustees.
Okey doke. I, Jody Meyer, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Board Trustee, Hastings-on-Hudson Union Free School District of the Town of Greenburgh, Westchester County, New York, according to the best of my ability.
Thank you. Teresa, it's your turn.
I, Teresa McCaffrey, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the Office of Board Trustee, Hastings-on-Hudson Union Free School District of the Town of Greenburgh, Westchester County, New York, according to the best of my ability.
Thank you. The next order of business is to elect the president of the board for the coming year. Is there a motion to nominate anyone?
I'd like to make a motion to nominate David Weinstein to be the next president of the Board of Education.
You didn't know?
I second.
Is there a second? Second?
Before you run out the door?
All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Yes, of
Sure.
course.
Congratulations.
Would you like me to read this now, or you want to?
Do you have to administer?
do the
it?
other.
He can read it himself, right?
I, David Weinstein, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the Office of Board President, Hastings-on-Hudson Union Free School District, the Town of Greenburgh, Westchester County, New York, according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Thank you. Next order of business is to nominate the vice president of the board. Is there a motion to nominate anybody?
I'd like to nominate Catherine.
Is there a second? All in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you. You're welcome.
I, Catherine DiMartino, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the Office of Board Vice President, Hastings-on-Hudson Union Free School District of the Towns of Greenburgh, Westchester County, New York, according to the best of my ability.
Lovely. Thank you. The next thing we're going to work on is nominating the district clerk. So is there a motion to nominate Melissa Del Barrera as a district clerk for the coming
It's an
year?
appointment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Appointing her, just appointing her, yeah. She
Oh.
just has to take her up.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So moved.
It's once a year. Will you read your oath into the record, or okay?
I, Melissa Della Barrera, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the district clerk, Hastings-on-Hudson Union Free School District of the Town of Greenburgh, Westchester County, New York, according to the best of my ability.
So DW, we're going to do the switch over here, and
Right
then
now?
Right now, and then there's a consent agenda. It's going to be very quick. The rest of the reorg. So.
Sorry, T.
Yeah. Bye.
See you.
Okay.
All right.
Can we pass this to David? He's got to sign it. Oh. David, you have to sign your, whatever, contract, affidavit.
Thank you.
As we're getting settled, I just wanted to, on behalf of the board, give Alex a token of our appreciation for your leadership these past years. And just, you have been a phenomenal leader, calm under pressure, the best researcher I've ever met, and just taking us through some really serious business, and with the bonds and with all the things that come your way. You're always so responsive, so communicative, and you couldn't be a better colleague. So we really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Maybe.
Let me open it. I'll be quick.
Alex, I think at the last meeting, I think it was the last meeting, when we all spoke and said some, I think, beautiful words to you about what it's been like to work with you and how deeply appreciative we've been for everything you've shouldered and the way you've led everybody, and you're remaining calm under enormous pressure and attack at times. And I don't know if other people want to say anything, but we did make a point that night of really talking to what it's been like to work with you, and it's been really an incredible experience. Certainly for me, I worked with a lot of board presidents. You've been outstanding, and I think
Thank
we
you.
really very much appreciate and glad that you'll be on the board next year.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's been my pleasure also. I feel like when you run for the board, there's always like a little thorn in your paw that makes you want to run. And then you get into the system and you realize there's a lot more going on. And for me, just sort of taking grasp of that and helping with everybody's help to sort of move those things forward is an immense pleasure. And, I'll look back on it. And I think this is a gavel, so I will probably gavel stuff on my own.
How'd you know?
How'd you know that was a gavel?
I got a gavel for, I forget who it was.
Sylvia.
And this is the right shape.
Oh, yeah, it's
box.
obviously a gavel box, right? Yeah.
Look forward to it,
Thank
DW.
you.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, please. Yeah, of course. I did not.
Oh my God. It says, besides the boilerplate, it says, "Get off my turf."
That's funny.
Guys, thank you all very much. This is very cute.
All right.
Oh, it's a Hastings. It's a winter scene. Oh my God. Y'all, thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you again. Thank you again. My pleasure.
So next on our agenda, item B1.
So it is just to let you know, it is a consent agenda.
Right.
So we're sort of voting. You can maybe list it, and then we'll vote once.
Of course. So oh my goodness, there are 49 items on
So you
this.
say B1 to B49.
Yeah, 2 to 49.
One.
So this is a B1 through 49. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All four?
Aye.
Aye.
Got it, all right. The motion to approve the consent agenda is approved. Is that how it is? You just like a little
Now we're
tap?
just going to adjourn to the next meeting.
Right. All right, and then may I please have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
All four?
Aye.
All right. So this meeting is adjourned. And now we are going to make a motion to open the regular board meeting. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All four?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, that's approved. I'm going to have to get better at this.
Don't worry.
It's okay.
It's like driving a motorcycle for the first time.
Hi, Catherine.
All right, so Now we have our regular board meeting. All right, we're going to call to order the regular Board of Ed meeting for Tuesday, July 14th, 2026. First on the agenda, we have a presentation from Ms. Alfiero for the Future Steps program.
But before Lori gets started, I just want to recognize and thank her for all of the work that's gone into this. And I'd like to recognize all of the individuals in this room. Many members of our leadership team are here in support of Lori and Future Steps, knowing that they've all contributed to students' journeys along the way. So thank you all for being here. Lori, thank you very much for putting this together. And we're excited to learn about where our graduates are headed.
Of course, thank you for having me. I don't know if this is on, but I speak loud enough, so it's okay.
Is it on? It's good?
Yeah. Good? Okay. All right, so good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here. Before I begin, I'd like to take a moment to thank everyone who helped make today's presentation happen. Most importantly, everyone who supported the class of 2026. To our students, congratulations. We're very proud of all of your accomplishments, and we're looking forward to seeing where your future steps are taking you. I'd like to thank the families, faculty, staff, leadership team, entire Hastings community for the guidance, encouragement, and opportunities that have been provided for our students along the way. A special thank you to the counseling team for the care and dedication they bring to their work every day. I'd also like to recognize Christina Caruso, the high school counseling secretary, whose organization and attention to detail was instrumental in this presentation and beyond. She does a lot for our department. So it's my privilege to share the future steps for the Hastings High School class of 2026. I hope you join me in celebrating them. That is an actual picture from graduation, which I like to point out. That's like our new thing. Okay. So class of 2026 contained 112 seniors with a 100% graduation rate. That is the second year in a row we're at 100% graduation rate, as far as I know. Diploma types, 110 Regents diplomas, 2 local diplomas, 4 CDOS credentials, 3 technical endorsements, and 6 seals of biliteracy. The CDOS endorsements and the technical endorsements are from the BOCES Tech Center. So this year we sent 8 students to the Tech Center, 4 of whom graduated, and next year we'll be sending 12 students, so it's a nice increase. On the other side is our scholarships. We had 1 National Merit Scholarship finalist, 11 National Merit Scholarship commended, 74 local scholarships awarded, and that's a big undertaking by the counseling department, especially Randy Shaw, who does all of our local scholarships. We also had 9 athletic commitments, 2 D1, 6 D3, and 1 D2 in Jersey. The types of schools our students are attending: public in-state, private in-state, public out-of-state, private out-of-state, and non-US institutions. We pretty much stayed on par with our numbers, slightly lower, but that is because the class size was lower. Last year, there was about 15 more students. So we're looking at 27 students who are attending public in-state, 3 who are at 2 years. They are, however, in a 2+2 format, so they will be attaining their associate's degree and then enrolling in their bachelor's program. 1 will be at the University of Florida. 15 students are going private in-state, 23 out-of-state, 31 private out-of-state, and there's an increase here with non-US institutions. So we're looking at that as more of a trend, not something particularly that we foresee being what's always going to happen, but a trend that we do want to monitor. We find the impact lately with applying to institutions such as that is dual citizenship, academic fit, different career opportunities, and more individualized programming at those institutions. We also have 1 student taking a gap year who will be in Germany, and 2 students who are going right to work, 1 who is going into culinary arts, the trade that he did pursue at CTE. Okay. So applications submitted, 25 versus 26. So as you can see, again, the numbers I think went down due to the class size. ED being early decision and binding, ED2 being a later deadline but still binding, and EA being early application, early answer, but non-binding. So we pretty much, again, stayed on par with the number of students who are applying and being accepted because of the size of the class. Okay. This is a nice snapshot of the number of applications that were processed in the last 3 years. So you can see 2024 to 25 to 26. So this school year we submitted, the seniors submitted 1,642 applications, 1,300 which stood, and 342 were withdrawn. We find students withdraw because they get into their early decision college or they just change their minds, and that is why they withdraw. This is just a nice visual. As you can see, Hastings students are spanning the United States and beyond to the international schools. We also had a similar board in our hallway this year, which Ms. Caruso created, which was a nice visual for the students to be able to see where their counterparts were going. And the Hastings Commit Instagram page used a similar format and had the same kind of mapping. So it's just a nice way to visualize where our students will be. This slide was updated recently, and I do apologize for the last notice. There was 104 students represented here. Should have been 109, so we did update that recently, and I can get that to you. Added another Binghamton student, a SUNY Alfred, and beyond. So 109 students are represented in 80 different colleges throughout the United States and international. Again, just a nice way to visualize where our students are attending. I'm sorry, so it's 85 total colleges after the addition. Okay, college majors. This is a snapshot, and I say it's a snapshot because there's 98 students represented here. Not all students gave us the information. I think if you can recall from last year, there was much less that we were able to snapshot, so we did get more information this year, and hopefully beyond we'll continue to get information from our students. What I do want to point out is the undecided. 8 undecided is a low number of students who are undecided. So we believe that the decrease in students being undecided reflects that the students are graduating with more thoughtful, informed, and individualized post-secondary plans. We are aligning our counseling practices with their goals, interests, and strengths. We're setting up their programs to define their strengths. We're doing more career exploration, which I'll get into a little bit later. So we think that that is the reason for the undecided being a lower number. Our students are having clearer next steps and a path that they've chosen early on.
This is class of 2026 high school graduates.
Correct. Yeah. So this is what they'll be studying next school year. And it's, as you can see, there's an array of interests, which is really great and does really talk about Hastings and the amount of things that they pursue and are able to explore while they're in high school with us. So some takeaways from all of this information. Students are applying to more colleges. Students are applying more than ever before, which is contributing to the increase in different schools being attended. International enrollments I did talk about, and a broader range of post-secondary options. College admissions continues to be competitive. Highly selective colleges remain competitive, and many schools are continuing to receive a record number of applications. As we talked about before, 1,600 plus applications is a lot of applications in a school year. Additional takeaways, standardized testing is becoming more relevant again. Students are starting to have to submit SAT and ACT scores for different institutions. Not all, but some are returning to test required and test preferred policies. We did offer last school year a practice SAT and ACT for our students, and we'll do that again. As you know, we offer the PSAT 11 and 10, so our students are performing well on those tests. Looking ahead, as we develop our graduation requirements with the alignment of Portrait of a Graduate, this is an opportunity for us to strengthen our career exploration and post-secondary planning. We started doing that this year, but that is on the forefront of what I'd like to continue. The counseling department plans to expand this, beginning in earlier grades. We'd like to increase students connecting with future pathways, building partnerships with colleges, employers, and alumni, so our students can continue to make informed choices for their post-secondary plans. What does this mean for Hastings students? This is just kind of like a summary of what I was talking about. More balanced college lists are going to become essential for our students. Counseling conversations are going to be focused heavily on fit, wellness, affordability, and realistic admissions. When I say fit, I mean a single criteria, holistic assessment of how the college aligns to a student's goals, needs, and their preferences. Counseling conversations are going to focus on identifying colleges that are a strong fit based on academic profile, intended major, career goals, down to a preferred campus size, location, culture, available academic and support programs, financial considerations, which is always a hot topic, and overall well-being. We're seeing that students want an overall well-being experience. Our counselors have worked with students to balance this and also have realistic admission strategies that are individualized. Students have demonstrated resilience navigating the application process. Students and families, again, are focusing on value, fit, and outcomes, such as return on their investment, career readiness, campus culture, supports, and affordability. Career readiness being really big, a topic that you're going to school, you're spending a lot of money, you want to know that you're going to have a job at the end of the day. So that's something that we're looking at. And Hastings students are continuing to apply and compete successfully, and that's something that we should be proud of. That's kind of the snapshot of the class of 2026, but I want to highlight also with the counseling department's contributions to this and what we're focusing on. I think this is a good segue into how we continue in this trajectory. So at a glance, the counseling department took 50-plus sophomores to a career conference at Southern Westchester BOCES, which was an additional exposure to occupations, increased awareness for post-secondary opportunities and different career fields that they may not have been exposed to previously. We pushed in and pulled out, but we mostly pushed into the freshman and sophomore classes to support their career exploration. We used Naviance as well as career interest inventories, and the ninth graders completed a learning styles, which is also a nice way to see where their interests will lie. Because in order to do a career, you have to know what you're good at as well. So we were looking at learning styles and creating those realistic post-secondary measures. We also increased and expanded peer leadership opportunities. So the last 3 years, 10th graders have participated with 3rd grade students in the Sweethearts and Heroes program, Braves. Through this work, they mentored and talked about bullying and jumping to action strategies. We expanded this program this year where 5th graders also became mentors to 1st grade students. So we had the Braves program engaged 12 sophomore leaders and 21 5th grade leaders. Next year, we're looking to add an additional 15 sophomores and 15 5th graders, rounding out a train the model where the 11th graders and the 6th graders will train the 10th and 5th graders. So it'll be an additional opportunity for peer leadership for our students. This work has been led by Julianne Snyder and Danielle Del Cerro, who are middle school and elementary school counselors. And our goal is to strengthen leadership capacity and sustain the program. Sorry, there we go. Okay, so on the horizon for the counseling department, we are going to expand career awareness opportunities to our students. Again, at the lower levels, we're considering developing a career day for the middle school and Hillside. We are going to revamping the college representation process. So we're no longer going to have individual colleges come all the time. We're looking to do a Tuesday College Connections, where once a month on Tuesdays, we're going to have a small college fair. We find that that's going to be a better fit because our students have frankly told us that they'd rather be in a more, a setting where they're able to go to multiple colleges and talk to their peers. We're going to do it during lunchtime. We'll have swag for them, just kind of changing the way we're doing it. We're finding that they are not attending the singular anymore. They're able to go online and get the information that they need, so we're looking to revamp that to get more interest. So it's going to be Tuesday College Connections, and our hashtag or our line is Meet Admission Reps, ask your questions and explore your options. In addition to colleges, this year we're going to look at also bringing in vocational schools for students who may be interested, and I am partnering with BOCES on finding out some schools that may be of interest in coming to us, and different trade programs that are popular. We're also going to be increasing our mental health awareness opportunities for students through continued collaboration. We have Andrus that will be partnering with us, and I know some of the board is looking at partnering as well on thinking about mental health awareness for students. So that's another thing that's on the horizon for us. And lastly, we're going to strengthen our grade level counseling programs to better support our students. And we created this year a survey that we will be sending to the class of 2026 in about 4 months now to gain how they're doing after 6 months of being graduate. And then we're going to follow up again after 1 year. And this will help us to better understand how prepared our students are and what we can do internally to help them prepare even better. So look out for that data hopefully next school year. And that is all I have.
Thank you. And Lori, I'd just like to add a very strong thank you to you, not only for the presentation, but your very strong vision for the department. So your leadership has helped internal leadership, so not only the counselors, but also with the administrative team, strong partnership there, and you've really centered student voice throughout the process, so not only hearing from students that have recently graduated, but also their lived experience in the school building of what would make it better for them or easier for them or more connected for them. So I want to recognize and thank you for that. And then finally, as a lead evaluator, I've had the opportunity to do some classroom observations, some of which have involved helping students think about future pathways for themselves with careers. So it's clear that your leadership has touched the classroom level too. So it is truly a wraparound approach and much appreciated.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all the support from everyone. Definitely not, it's a village, not just.
Before you step down, any questions from members of the board?
Yeah.
And thank you so much for that presentation.
Of course.
It's not so much a question, although maybe there will be. I also want to thank you. I think this is an outstanding presentation, both to see the results of the class of 2026 in very different pieces of it. It makes it very tangible and helpful. And also all of your plans going forward and shifts like the Tuesdays instead of the individual. That's a really interesting idea, I think. I did want to say, and I was having a conversation with a former board member who was talking about how she felt that her children were incredibly well prepared for college. Like she was sort of blown away. I mean, you could probably speak to it.
I've heard that too, yeah.
Blown away by how well prepared her children were from high school. I mean, I certainly felt that way years ago, but this was present. And I said to her, maybe she could come to a board meeting and speak up in public comment, because I think it's so helpful for parents to hear, because they get just so worried about
Sure.
probably a lot of things they don't have to worry about. And my other comment is about, and I feel like this probably just dates me as it should, but I have such a problem with the idea of college majors when you're in high school. I mean, it just, I'm sorry, I just can't wrap my head around it. I understand it actually from a financial perspective, that it's so expensive to go to college, that the cost, return on investment, but it blows my mind that kids have to make decisions, or supposedly make decisions, or go to interviews at colleges and tell people what they're in. Like, really? Did you really know what you were going to do when you were that age? I mean, I think about my own path, and it just feels like it's such an imposition on kids and their development and their ability to go to college and have a more of a liberal art. Granted, if you want to do something and you want to go to, I even feel that way about applying early decision to college, personally, even though I get the pressures. If you want to go to MIT and because you want to be a physicist and you're going to develop the blah, 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 and you know that, and that's true for some kids, I get it. And we give kids experiences here. Think about the science experiences that Melissa Shandroff gives to students and how it encourages what they're going to do going forward. And that's just one of many things. But it just, I just have such, that's just a personal thing. I feel like, why do kids have to know what they want to do when they're like in 11th grade, when they're barely, especially in this world,
I'll piggyback to that. I'll say we're the same cohort, let's call it. And I feel like in our time, it was very rare for a kid to know what they wanted to study. But I will say, as a parent who, a child who just went to college, one who's about to go, it is particularly important nowadays. It is particularly useful because there are, colleges assess candidates depending upon what they'd like to study. Different colleges have different entrance requirements, the different availability. So it is, I was actually impressed in a good way to see that there were so few undecideds. Things can change, but it is, I would be more worried if it was just a small cohort of people who knew what they wanted to do. I'm impressed that so many students in this district have a sense, and how varied it was. It's like 112 kids or 85 that were represented in 78 different majors. So for the modern system, that bodes really, really well, and it's really useful. And I think not to go over everything you said, but so many of the strategic points, the vision points you laid out are just spot on from my perspective. So I'm very welcome to see and very happy to watch it go forward. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much for your strategic thinking and how to really reach the students across the board, emotionally, mentally, career-wise. I really feel like you and your whole team are approaching it from a holistic perspective. I wish we had more kids taking a gap year, personally.
oh, definitely.
I'm surprised there's one. I sat in, and maybe Andy, you remember this meeting, it was a student council pizza lunch, and the juniors were so stressed, and Senor Lopez said, I hope he doesn't mind me quoting him, that I wish our high schoolers could just enjoy high school and not have to be so future focused and stressed out. And that's not necessarily a reflection on our district. That's the world in a high performing district, in a goal oriented, in a white collar kind of, even a blue collar district, whatever. But my hope, and he said, I just wish that juniors could be juniors and enjoy junior year and get a job or go travel or, and then do your application and think about it and not be stressed. And I've started to ask, because my son's a sophomore, would any families be willing to band with us and, tell our kids you have to do a gap year and you have people who are also doing it, so you're not an outlier. But
Like a host community.
Yeah, we could pilot it. But anyhow, I just want to put that out there that I think that would be wonderful for them. And perhaps we can talk about, or maybe your team could highlight that one Tuesday. What do kids do on a gap year? Where could they go? Who could their community be? What might they feel like? Thank you.
I will share a tiny anecdote, which is the last week of school, a graduating senior came into my office and we were having a conversation about his next steps. And he said he had declared a certain major, and he was explaining why he declared it and why he was connected to the field. And then he said, but I might change my mind. And I thought that was actually really healthy. So whatever kinds of conversations are happening internally to steer towards passion and value add based on students' strengths and where they see themselves in the future, I feel like the department's also doing a really nice job of uncertainty is still okay. And so that was a conversation that really stood out to me.
And I think many do change their mind. It would be interesting to
We'll
follow.
see what the
Many.
data comes back
Yeah.
with. Yes. I know I did. I was a career changer as well, so I get it.
Can I? So I also wanted to say thank you for this great presentation. I love the strengths piece. I love that you're highlighting, for kids what they're good at, because that's so important in life in general. Like sometimes, you think, you know, oh, I'm not so good at this, or you might not know until someone points out that's a strength, and I love that piece. I love the peer mentorship and expansion of that. That's wonderful. So good for the middle schoolers to be, you know, they're so much more of a powerful mentor than a grown-up, let's say, right, when they're in that stage. So I love that. I also love your ability to adjust and kind of listen to the students and probably the schools on that Tuesday idea versus, you know, one individual college. Just as an anecdote, we went to a college that my son was accepted to. She immediately said, "You didn't go to the thing that we had," and I was like impressed that she would know, you know, who was there. But these people really know who's going and can recognize a face and all of that. It's kind of amazing. So I did have a question, if you have it, and if not, if you could find out. I'm curious about deferrals versus wait lists. Did you see any change in that? Because I hadn't heard of any deferrals, but it could just be my group or whatever. But has that changed? There used to be, I know, like 4 years ago when my daughter was going, there were a lot more deferrals.
I know.
And it could have been a sign of the times, but.
So the data that I currently have right here, but I can get back to you on like more specifics. Schools where students were ED and denied were Amherst, Boston, Columbia, NYU, University of Pennsylvania. There was a student who was deferred and then denied. That is the only one that I have note on deferment, but I can look into that for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of the colleges, I'm just sort of curious on, they have kind of an algorithm
Sure.
for their acceptance rates to go higher. So I think that they play some games too, and I'm just curious about that and like understanding the system and how it works.
And that's why it's even more important that our students are setting themselves up to be individuals and to be different. You don't want the cookie cutter Hastings student. You really want to identify who you are, what you're interested in, and that's part of what we're doing in the application process.
Thank you, great. It was a great presentation.
On the opposite end of my gap year idea, how many students are going to Ivies? So I can go home and share this data with my mother-in-law and convince her that public school is okay.
I will get that to you.
Okay.
Hopefully I make it a good argument for you.
You can look at that list.
I was trying.
I'll get the numbers.
It's here, it's
but,
right, you got
you
it.
know.
It's on the board.
It looked like,
Okay, I'll look. I'll figure it out.
well, even though the Ivy League
You're
is
not gonna convince her.
it's just an athletic conference, it did appear that Penn was the only one, no shade to the Ivy League. It looked like Penn was the only one that I saw.
Thank you.
Nice, I like
See
that.
why she's my right hand?
Thank you so much.
And also the University of Buffalo, which is the Harvard of Erie County.
Little bias.
Some people might call it,
University of Chicago, sorry.
some people might call it that.
Teresa, you'll never convince her, so don't even
I
bother.
know, I know.
I had one question, and thank you so much for this presentation. So I know that you mentioned that you were doing a follow-up with students 6 months after graduation, which I think is wonderful, right? Because even after 6 months, we have a different idea of where we want to be, you know. And I think about this after graduating Hastings High School 30 years ago. Like, I'm in a much different place where I want to be, or I have peers who have pivoted careers or have figured out in their 30s or 40s that they have ADHD, that they, you know, like all of these things that we find out later in life that affect our career decisions, our life decisions. I'm curious, and this may exist already, do we have an alumni network here? I mean, besides the Alumni Association, which I think operates outside of the school district, do we have within your department any sort of alumni network that we tap into, you know, both recent alum as well as, you know, older people alum?
So I think informally we do.
Yeah.
We have students that we do stay in connection with, and a lot that do come back to visit us. And one of the things we were actually thinking about is also having them present at our junior college night. A couple of students who recently went through the process, so they can talk to the students about what they experienced. So I don't think we have a formal alumni through, but we have an informal one.
Yeah, that's great. Like, right, like what's it like 1 year after Hastings,
exactly.
2 years after Hastings, 5 years after? That's wonderful. That's great to hear. Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have a report from our Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction.
I think I'm first. On the agenda.
Yeah, business official.
Oh, did I just skip you, Maureen?
Skip me, skip me.
You're going to get used to that. No, I'm just kidding. Next up is our report from our business official.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
No, no problem. So my report tonight, I want to give, there's 2 items on the agenda under the business items, and I just wanted to give a little bit of explanation to them both. They're both related to amendments to the agreement with Land Associates, who's our architecture firm. That is the creating our construction documents. The first of which is for the storm pollution prevention plan inspections, and that is a separate service. We're able to, they're securing an external partner, which is the LA Group, who is able to conduct these inspections as required. So as the ground is being disturbed at the Burke Estate, there are weekly inspections or sometimes biweekly inspections that are required to happen. And I did put an explanation of what exactly they're ensuring that no stormwater runoff from the construction site goes, or any sediment, or any other pollutants into nearby waterways or neighboring properties. And if that is to be found, then there has to be mitigation has to take place. And these are required. We actually have a physical book binder that has to remain on site with the documentation that these are occurring. And I believe we're already up to, I believe, the second or third inspection since work began. And again, this is just a simple amendment. In terms of the budget, these are things that were in our budget because testing, inspections that are required, that we know that they're required, there was always a line item in our budget for this work. We weren't necessarily, we could have had a number of people, but his availability worked best for us. So we're moving forward with LA Group to conduct these inspections, and he'll be back on site tomorrow to do another. And then the second resolution, in terms of the amendments to the agreement, is so when we had first done the site work, there was some, of course, improvements to the existing baseball field. Subsequent to that, as we've gotten into design and all the rest, there's been some other ideas and other concepts and other existing conditions that we wanted to address. So in order to kind of really thoroughly flush those out and ensure prior to doing something and then saying, oh, I wish we would have considered some of these other elements, right? We did ask the architects to go back and do some additional design work that would require construction documentation. And based upon, of course, their contract and what the initial scope of work was at the baseball field, there was a small amendment to their contract to do this work. I will say that, and we've spoken about this before, the overall budget for the approved contract at Burke Estate is well under what we had anticipated. So when I say anticipated, we're still in the early stages. So of course we want to make sure we have a lot of contingency, but within our professional services area of that budget, this would be able to be absorbed. And again, there were some really good ideas, and this is not completely unusual with construction or any type of construction. It's in line with site improvements. It's just a matter of now going back and looking at some other ideas that got flushed out or things that either, but we do think it's important because you certainly wouldn't want to proceed and then say, well, why didn't you do these other kind of things? Because of course we're fully mobilized. We have a contractor on site. Much of what we're looking at would be small or relatively smaller kind of improvements or design changes to the space. And just connected to that, just so you all know, we have our baseball coaches as well as our athletic director. So we've also spoken with, just again as advisory kind of groups with some of the baseball community. So they've been involved, and again, just people who really use the space. So this is really, these are a lot of the ideas that kind of bubbled up there. And then as we discussed as a group, the architects and designers were like, I do think this would be the time to do it. So, and then also just as a separate update, we continue to meet today. We did have a meeting with our admin team, some of which are still here to discuss the logistics and as we anticipate doing the addition work. I think we probably won't see a permit for another 4 to 5 months on that work. That would be my guess. And that's based upon some things we're seeing coming back from the state. And, the timelines for approval with the state are really based upon what they have at any given time, as well as other comments and other paperwork that they're looking for the district to have. And one of the things that was explained by the construction managers today was that our full logistics and safety plan needs to be submitted to the state prior to receiving the permit, because they want to ensure that as you're doing construction, egresses, all emergency things are addressed and fully spelled out and laid out. So that is typical, that you would submit the plan, and then that would be a subsequent submittal to them. It wouldn't, they wouldn't even review it to the end of their architectural review, because if they had any changes, that would impact that plan. So, so that's well underway. It's a lot for our school admins to be thinking about in terms of site logistics and all the rest. So that's to be continued. And then the last thing, just to remind the board and the public, we will be having a full presentation in September that we discussed in terms of, we'll have a better understanding of where we are in terms of the state, any things that, and this is really speaking mostly about the addition, as well as the other work as well, but kind of giving you an update there. And then there's also a risk assessment that is our yearly risk assessment that is part of the business items this evening. And that is the required, and you can see where, when we get to that part, if you have any questions in terms of the risk areas, they're pretty consistent, because those areas, unless there's a significant change in the district, they wouldn't change much. You still see that a high-level security risk assessment area for all districts is always technology, information technology, because that is the largest risk area that anyone faces and continues to be challenging. But they have selected, just by, again, just as a reminder, we use this each year to kind of look into different areas, and many of the areas are even picked up with our external auditors. So the internal auditor gives you an opportunity to kind of look at other organizational risk areas. It's always based upon the level of risk, and right now we're looking at like student services, and as well as they're going to be also doing some work around the facilities and capital asset in construction, because of, obviously, we're doing $40 million worth of work. So those are the two areas that they'll be kind of focusing on just as part of their work this year. So that is it.
Question. Can I ask a question?
Of course.
What does LA stand for the LA group?
Oh, the LA group, I have to look. Actually, it's funny.
I always thought it was
Great,
landscape
that's great.
architect.
It may be. Let me just see if I have
Can't be
it.
that simple.
Maybe. Because it's funny, because you have land, which is a separate entity, and then LA Group is a separate, I just want to see what the acronym means. I've actually never, I don't think I've ever seen, because other ones I know, like we use acronyms for our auditors, but I know what those stand for, LA Group.
Or you can Landscape Architecture and Engineering, I believe,
Is that what they're, yeah.
from a quick Google.
Oh, yeah, Landscape Architect and Engineering, PC, yep.
Thank you. And the other thing was, we had talked prior about sort of ramping up for the bonds and all the work that goes into it for the first, or for ongoing presentations,
Correct.
updates, et cetera, and expectations of the CM and the architects, the due diligence.
Yes.
The boundary lines,
Yes.
getting trucks in and out of our little streets,
Yes.
all of that. Like, we just want a very thorough plan, because the plan is always going to have a problem
Of
or
course.
a schedule delay, but like, good planning makes for a successful project. So, and I know you know that, but just emphasize that to the groups that are working with us.
Yes, so as I mentioned earlier, the meeting today was more like the internal logistical team. I know we have a meeting set up with the town and all the rest, because of also then, so that's already in the planning points. And even today, it became very clear we need to be meeting internally with our team more frequently, because also as if and when that schedule does change and gets bumped or whatever the case may be, or other things get raised, we'll have to be constantly, kind of making those changes. But I absolutely share your concern in terms of traffic, because as we know, traffic and logistics around here, I mean, noise is one thing, but logistical traffic is a large concern, and that we are scheduled to meet with the construction managers with because it's really, we're going to need, well, not need, the town, of course, has to be heavily involved in that in terms of the village themselves. So that's a conversation that I anticipate will start in September. We'll continue to meet internally with our groups, and then, of course, as we've spoken about, once all those plans are as close to we know them to be, we will be having community forums with Nate. We'll be going door to door, also community forums and things of that nature
Great.
to
Thank you,
discuss.
Maureen.
You're welcome.
So I just have one question, Maureen, about the overage for the environmental and the baseball
Yes.
upgrades. So are those costs coming from the bond, or is that coming out of our regular operating budget?
No, that's within the bond budget. So the budget for that work, like the entire budget and what we spent thus far were allocated, we have several $100,000 above room in terms of even outside of our contingencies. So this is within that scope. So that is fully bond, to answer your bond budget. But just to kind of reiterate that even if we didn't have the current space in that overall budget in terms of what we like to hold on to for unforeseen conditions, because it's like one budget for that project. So we're very comfortable doing that, and that's why we kind of went back and as we looked at some of the things that weren't contemplated, and it kind of felt foolish not to address them here. Because most of which are here, I'm not saying everything we'll be able to do, most of which are lower ticket items, which still would require permitting, still would require bidding, still would require other aspects. So this was the time to capitalize on them.
Well, that's great. Yeah, I mean, I know I've talked to a lot of baseball families who've been really excited about making these upgrades for years. So
Yes.
I know that's something that's been high on the list for a long time up at the Burke. So I'm glad that we're able to attack that.
Yes, for sure.
Any additional questions for Maureen before we move on to our report from our Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction?
Okay. Thank you, everyone. So on behalf of the district, I'd first like to offer a big highlight. Over the past couple of weeks, we've had 3 new administrators join our team. So on behalf of the district, I'd like to welcome them officially. Yeah, already moving and doing amazing things. So Jen Holder, new Assistant Superintendent for PPS, whom you'll hear from with an update after mine. Karina Villalona, Assistant Director of Special Education, and Lena Carolini Canavo, Principal at the middle school, and is also in the room. So thank you for coming. Lots of great things already in motion. People are settling in, getting to know the lay of the land, reviewing data, talking to many different people, and really starting to hit the ground learning. So that's fantastic. We've been doing a lot of summer curriculum work. So speaking of learning, a lot of curriculum work happens over the summer, and that starts as early as June. And so since the end of the school year, there's already been approximately 175 hours of summer work that's been happening to refine curriculum, to make sure that the programs are being developed, that there's strong collaboration with new teaching teams that are in effect for next year. So lots of work will continue throughout the summer in additional areas, but so far, just to present a couple of the highlights, and I do have that in the public record, at Hillside, development of curriculum for the 1211 class, innovative learning commons collection, curation. At the middle school, curriculum creation for pop cultures in the USA, STEAM 6 curriculum, standards and curriculum alignment work for FMS Earth Science, Grade 5, exploring equity lesson design. Grade 7, accelerated mathematics course content creation. Financial literacy curriculum design, and that's actually a mandate from the state this year, so some effort has been.
For what grade?
Middle school and high school, yeah, so it has to happen by the end of 8th grade and by the end of 12th grade. So that's happening, that's been in motion, and there's been additional work around lesson development for financial literacy, integrated co-teaching planning. At the high school level, Learning Resource Center content design, curriculum creation for Spanish film and conversations, curriculum development for Spanish for non-honors, and science research expansion for the 3-year progression. So really building upon the great work that's already been happening. So lots more to come. I would say probably a few hundred more hours in the mix by the end of the summer. Mathematics placement, so an update on FMS mathematics. At the last Board of Education meeting, I explained that I'd present some data in terms of the placement decisions. So the placement decisions were released in early June for our rising 7th graders and rising 8th graders. And so thank you to the middle school administration. There's been an analysis of grade level data that's been provided regarding the placement decisions. I do have this in the public record. I won't go through every single line item. So it is living there, and it's intended to offer context for the placement decisions, also context for the sectioning. Why did we have X number of Algebra 1s versus Math 8? So it provides a little bit of context there. We also wanted to ensure transparency around how students across the grade are performing, also on these different metrics, so that you can see variations in alignment there. And also, some families have asked, it would be very helpful to know how my child is performing against the cohort. And so that's a third reason to make sure that we present this. So that is living in the public record. And then my final update will be on our K-12 mathematics work. So we were ahead of schedule, and we were able to convene our K-12 mathematics committee the last week of June 23rd. That was the very first meeting. The purpose of the math committee is to create a shared vision of mathematics and to use the vision to design coherent curriculum from K all the way to 12, instruction, assessment, and professional learning practices that will be implemented. So this is a decision-making group, and the members will ultimately be making some choices that are going to impact all teachers of mathematics. So they are a representative body, lots of different stakeholders, teachers, interventionists, administrators. So it's a whole group with many different ideas coming together. And so the session agenda for the 23rd began with a storytelling process to make sure that each building knew what's been happening for the past several years in mathematics across each building. Then from there, there was an exploration of belief systems around mathematics. And so there, Dr. Sobrin, our thought partner, who has just been a tremendous force to enable all of our work, and I can't be more grateful to her. We're so grateful. We all love working with her. She offered some different mathematics beliefs, and there was an active debate. People had to get up and choose a side of the room and debate, and it was really exciting, actually. And some of the debates were so strong that it was hard not to get up and move to the other side of the room. But yeah, so the whole purpose of that was just to be actively engaged around what do we believe in, what do we value, how do we put things into action, and why, so that we can really be on the same page around our shared vision of mathematics. There was a review of the New York State Inspires plan, because ultimately everything we do will need to align with the state guidance, which again is new, and more guidance is forthcoming. A review of the numeracy briefs, and also a vision building process, so that there were priorities that were identified to begin thinking about what will actually show up in our vision statement so that we can strengthen the program and also the K-12 coherence. So I want to recognize and thank the members of that committee. It was a really great first session. This work will continue well into the next school year and across the year. And there will be concrete action items that will happen, which will include the development of a clear vision statement, selection of mathematics curriculum resources, and also planned professional development. So thinking about how to support internally capacity and continue our improvement for all on behalf of all students. So that is the curricular update. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Melissa? Questions? All right. Well, up next, we have our report from our Assistant Superintendent of PPS. I just want to echo Melissa and welcome Jen. I'm sorry for not doing so earlier, but welcome Jen to this meeting, to our district. This is your first meeting, right?
This is my first meeting in this capacity.
Let's go. So,
She was at another meeting. I remember that
Yeah.
meeting well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The first one was a doozy.
well, I'm thrilled to hand off to you and welcome to the district, and looking forward to many, many wonderful collaborative meetings.
So am I. I just want to thank everyone since I've been here. This is day 10. I have been meeting with building leaders. I've been discussing things with parents who want to share information upon my entrance. I've been meeting with people, personnel, support staff, and really trying to get a lay of the land. I've also been reviewing policies, our procedures, and our systems to make sure that we continue to do what we do well, and we address the concerns that are common and are concerns of everyone, and making sure that we build a strong and equitable system to support our students to access the curriculum. I've just been scheduling things, making sure that I'm listening before we determine everything, because it's a collaboration. So I don't have like the specifics of what's going on, but I definitely am meeting and listening, as I said I would when I got here, and making sure that I get to know the community. There's a lot of historical knowledge here that I need to know, as well as knowledge of what's important to everyone here. And so making sure that we're hitting what's important for everyone so that our students can succeed. But that's it. Thank you.
Any questions for Jen? And Jen, do you mind if can we call you Jen in the meetings, or is that okay?
That is perfectly fine.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you. I just want to make sure. All right, moving on. Would any members of our public like to make a public comment? No? Nobody? Okay, we're not going to have any members of our community for public comment. Moving next is a vote to approve the consent agenda, items 6A through...
Before you go on, you want to say something about the meeting?
Well, are you looking at the agenda?
If you want, what you're talking about, we can do it at the end, perhaps, if you want.
Okay.
Okay.
That's 6A through 7D, which is the consent agenda.
Yes. 6A through 7D. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Could I just clarify? I only see 7A. Is that, well, the business items, is that what you're saying?
Oh, no, it's business items and personnel are consent agendas. If you look at 6A and then 7A
Together.
through D. I mean, they could be taken separately, but
Okay, got you.
yeah. You take the business, right, however you
6A
want
is
to do
a
it.
consent agenda, and then 7A through D.
Business consent, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Do I have a motion to...
Well, we have Alex, now we need a second.
oh, yes. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right, the ayes have it. Okay, moving on to item 6A, business items. Any?
We're going to
I'm sorry?
8A now.
8A.
I'm sorry, we're skipping all the way to 8A. All right, great.
Took 6 and 7 together, yeah.
Oh, we did 6 and 7 together. Thank you, Melissa. I'm going to get there. We have item 8A. This is an appointment of the Director of Equity, Opportunity, and Belonging. So is this a vote, or would
Be a motion to approve it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a motion to approve Dr., and I'm just going to read out loud, Dr. Janice Mateo Toledo, appointment to probationary director of equity, opportunity, and belonging. Do I have a motion to approve the appointment?
David, could I just say something before the vote?
Of course.
Do you mind? So this position in particular, we had a lot of discussion as a board about whether we could afford it and how we were going to scope it and how we were going to go on the market for it. And fitting into the budget was critical for me. And so I'm going to abstain from this vote because the agreed upon, where we landed with the number did not fit into the budget as far as what the range was. So I'm going to abstain. It's in no way reflective of the selection, but the process and the budget piece concerned me, so I will abstain from voting.
Thank you, Maureen. Any other questions before we vote on this? Do I have a motion to vote on the appointment of Dr. Mateo Toledo?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. All right. So that means.
You need to vote to abstain, too.
I'll.
No, she has it.
I think it's next. Yeah. All right. So correct me if I'm wrong. So what happens now after this?
You just move on to the next item.
All right. Copy that. Okay.
Motion passed.
But
No, it's minutes.
Okay.
And then if you click into minutes, you'll see the date where the minutes are from.
I'm so happy this is a noon meeting that nobody is watching. All right, so coming up next, we've got approval of the minutes from the last meeting. Lena, no judging. Thank.
We give grace to each other. I'm going to be doing the same thing. So
Grace.
I got you.
Motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Do I have a second for the motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'm going to vote affirmatively as well. New business. So we have our recommended dates for the board meetings for next year. Does anybody have any questions or concerns about our schedule for next year?
No.
I have a thought that's come up from talking to some other board members that we can talk about at another time, but it's not about the dates, but when we are planning for executive sessions, and I think this past year we had a lot of exec sessions.
We did.
That we might want to rethink the timing. I know it's not ideal, but starting at 5 or 5:30 is difficult for many people on the board. And so maybe we could think about this going forward, if we keep to our regular meeting time and do an exec session afterwards, unless sometimes we need to do it before a meeting, or start an exec session at 6 and start the meeting at 6:30, but expecting people to get here at 5 or 5:30 can make it very difficult. And I think wouldn't say it defeats the purpose, but it's not great for the board if people can't get here or show up late.
No, I think it's an excellent concern. I know we can also be very thorough in our executive sessions. So, I think for the sake of expediency, maybe we can agree upon some set time limits or something like that.
Maybe if we do them at the end of the meeting, we'll end up being quicker.
Self-limiting.
If it's something that you have to vote on, maybe if you start the meeting at 6 and then you go, you know how you can like go into executive session for like that business item, and then you might be more efficient. Keep it short because like people are waiting. You're gonna go make a
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, we should definitely. I agree with you. We should definitely try something because
And
the early
sometimes even having a
starts.
different date is, not because I'm trying, because sometimes it is hard to have an executive session, even if it starts at 6 and then like later if there's public, like there's different, like there's pros and cons. And if you have less, sometimes I don't even personally myself is working an additional day because I feel like you're fresher, you can really take the time necessary if those things do come up. One of the things I mean, I'm not on the board, but I do want to recommend we should potentially consider changing one of these to a work session for the board, or one or two. I think the good thing about Hastings is we do have 2 board meetings a month, which if districts do have it, that same kind of flow, many times they may take a few of those offline. And again, you may not know what those dates are now, but as the year and Bill, I know you build that agenda, kind of anticipated what you believe you'll be discussing there, especially with the bond, and as that ramps up, you may, or even the budget, quite frankly, you may want to consider having one, if we can be efficient, dedicated just for the board to have that time for themselves. I think we've talked about it, but definitely with the budget, I think in particular, I think it's really, I think boards, when we've had them, it's been helpful to allow for, that level of detail that you may want or discussion, so.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I agree with what Jody said, and I have frequently had issues getting here earlier. But I guess a question on when you notice, when you provide notice to the community, we don't have, like, in a particular week, if people could come at 6 versus 6:30, if you're noticing it, then the
it's fine.
community is aware it's 6:30 this week or
Right.
it's 7 this week.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be the same start time
No,
every
it-
week.
no, it never does,
Or every
no.
meeting, right?
No.
As long as the notice reflects the
course.
current time.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we might have flexibility with that,
Oh,
too, depending
definitely.
on the week, yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you, I agree with looking at the schedule.
I think it's best, though, for the community if we do have a consistent start time. So maybe what that means is from week to week, if we're trying to be more programmatic about it and less ad hoc, it could be Thursday executive sessions at 6, Tuesday board meetings at 6, unless people don't want to give up 2 nights, I understand. But maybe we can talk about that at our retreat, which I wanted to bring up. When is that? Do we have a date?
We don't have a date yet.
Yeah, so we have to put that on, the schedule. I think Catherine and I talked a little bit about it this week, but I think we'll throw some dates out and figure out when that should be, because obviously we gotta get some planning. I don't know when everyone's out of town, but we'll get that on the schedule soon.
Okay, and is it a moot point to talk about not having Wednesday meetings after a Monday holiday? It just seems like unnecessary to move the board meeting to Wednesdays, and I personally always forget. And then I'm like, there's a board meeting tonight, or I come and there's nobody here. I could be better about that. But just putting it out there are 2 Wednesday board meetings in the upcoming year. And the other thing I want to say, just for our quality of life as board members, I think it's ridiculous that our personal address or address of where we are during a meeting goes out into the public world. I know it's a COVID thing.
State law, yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
a legal thing, Melissa?
Yes.
Yeah, but laws need to be amended, especially when they're no longer relevant. And if it started during COVID, it's a safety issue. It's not
agree.
good for people in the world to know where you are during a meeting. Nobody's sitting with a security guard outside of their house, so.
Really? You don't have a security guard?
I
at your
just
house?
want to say that I think it's dumb and unsafe
Agree.
and invasive.
It's a little weird. I agree.
Yeah, I agree. It is a little weird. I don't want people knowing where I live. I agree with you. Let's see what we can do about that.
I mean, somebody just needs to call NISPA and start a thing. I know nobody has time for that, but if anybody out there wants to do it or here,
Well, now that Alex isn't president, I think he might, no, I'm just kidding.
There's a lot of time
Top
on
of the
his hands.
list.
I mean, when somebody goes to a board member's house, not necessarily us in New York State, and it's unsafe, then people will look at it, but
I will say,
why wait
NISBA
for that?
NISBA does solicit each year. They send us an email, I think, topics, things for them to work on. I mean, it has to coalesce through numerous districts, but you can at least put the idea in the hat.
Okay,
NISBA.
okay, thank you.
All right, any additional questions about the schedule? Moving on, next.
We have to vote on it.
We have to vote on the schedule right now?
Yes.
Do I have a motion to vote on the schedule for the 26-27 school year?
So the Wednesday meetings follow.
Break.
when there's a break. so
A
we
break
have an
with a
extra
Monday
day.
off.
Yeah, that was like Thanksgiving for the December. I thought they were doing it because my birthday is day before. I'm like, wow.
That's convenient.
I know, she was like.
Isn't
"No,
it
that's
when we have a Monday off?
It's not just when,
Like,
like, if
when we have
we have like
Thursday,
Thursday and
Friday.
Friday for like Thanksgiving. That way we have time to just make sure we have everything on the agenda.
Who you?
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that we're not.
So
That's really
it
what it's
is,
about. It's about getting the agenda ready and.
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Just so we're
see.
not adding things too last minute and the board has an opportunity to review them.
Okay, I understand. I thought it was an
Nights out.
attendance issue.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I do just want to make one note as we, and Melissa D, could you confirm this? And I'm not, I promise I'm not calling you out, but on the document with the dates, it just says 2026 for the July 13th reorg meeting. I just want to make sure. Yeah, I just want to, I mean, I just want to make sure, I'm going to take a look now that July 13th, that July 13th, 27 is a
Attached.
Tuesday. Okay, great, so good. Okay, so then everyone just keep in mind
That's
that
my
we're going,
birthday, so I may not be there.
we're going to celebrate your birthday with some.
Oh, wait, was your birthday yesterday?
Yeah, happy birthday.
I'm sorry,
Jody.
yesterday was your birthday?
Aw. Gotta get a cake
Well,
next time.
thanks, Jody. Now I'm going to write this down.
Jody always brings us the snacks.
She sure does. All right, so can I have a motion to accept the dates for the BOE meetings for this upcoming school year?
So moved.
And can I get a second, please?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There we go. All right, so that is passed. I'll see y'all next year. Coming up next, we have, and I don't know if this is something we're voting on, but I know that we're, you know, we've talked about this in these meetings, and certainly, you know, this is something we talk about a lot in Hastings, but there's certainly a lot to be spoken about our need for more commercial development in Hastings, for more affordable housing in Hastings, for more affordability in Hastings. And so I'm really excited that we're having another session with the Village Board of Trustees to discuss housing developments in Hastings. Obviously, this is important.
When is that?
This is on October 20th.
Yeah, it's a Tuesday.
And that's here, is that what
And
Melissa
about
said?
housing, but I thought we were going to try to have one about sort of the whole commercial tax base downtown.
Well, I think certainly we can bring and suggest things to the table, and we can discuss that with the mayor and the board of trustees. So this is not until October, so I think we have a little bit of time in planning. But perhaps for our next meeting, which I should know because we just approved the calendar on Tuesday,
Really?
on Tuesday, August 25th. That we can come with some suggestions for what we'd like to discuss at this meeting. But we have some time until then. But in the meantime, I can talk to the mayor and see if we can align on a proposed agenda for the meeting.
You know, one of the things I noticed in the town, which I'm sure you all follow, is there's a proposal for the Old St. Matthew's School for some senior, you
Yep.
know, and just curious, because I think as it is good to start having, just, it doesn't necessarily have to be a board meeting, like discussions around these things, because as far, something like that, I know there's impacts to the neighborhood and others, but that's like excellent for the school district, because of course, any type of religious or school is tax exempt.
Yeah.
So something even of that impact brings no students, it's obviously good for those who need that type of housing, and it's also a very good cash influx for the school district. So I think just as I see things, and I'm like, oh, I hope that gets approved. You know what I mean? Like not understanding the, you have to look.
That did get approved?
I don't know. So I just, as
This is it,
those kind
working
of
on it.
things, I think it doesn't necessarily have to be commercial development. It could even be something, I mean, that is a commercial type of development, but I didn't know if those type of things were going to be discussed here, because there have been times, and the village has been very good, and there's things even within the town of Greenberg that occur that sometimes we're not looped into, when there was like opportunities for different properties to be sold to other types of developers, and they have not been, and you know, there has been a significant impact to the school district by some of those decisions. You know, from a
100%.
tax-based perspective and taxes, I mean, you have to kind of contemplate a little more traffic, a flow of X amount of dollars, you know, it's not insignificant.
Is the proposal for like 55 and over condos?
I think it might be more of like an assisted living kind of.
I think
it's a company.
senior housing.
For-profit
It was- it
assisted
said
Yeah,
senior housing.
anything like, any type of housing provides money. even-
Right, but
Yeah.
not a nonprofit assisted living.
No, it could be, like a not, because some things are nonprofit, not-for-profit. I would think that, no, there would be some taxes coming in from that, for sure. And I think also, we want to understand, are there pilots being discussed, right? Payment in lieu of taxes. I mean,
yeah.
we have the development of things that are in Hastings from 20 years ago, and we're only getting $10,000 a year in taxes from those. That was not, for us, would not have been what we would have been looking for, So I think it's great that the village is putting, because I think there's the larger things, and there's immediate things that occur sometimes that, I think we would like to just be at least aware of. It's not so much that we are going to decide for them, but.
I mean, I know it's always a tricky subject to talk about in Hastings, because a lot of people don't want Hastings to change. Certainly, a lot of people like Hastings kind of remaining, but I think we've seen all of the villages around us increase development, develop their waterfront. I mean, this is not a referendum on the waterfront, because that's never happening. Sorry. But yeah, this is important, right? The question that I had, actually, and this is something I was talking about with somebody just yesterday, or maybe the day before, is, if you have housing for 55 and over in Hastings, and people sell their homes, maybe they own houses in Hastings and they sell their houses, would that mean that there could potentially be a big influx in student enrollment? If families sell their homes and stay in the village?
Yeah, I'm sorry. So I think if people are going to sell their home, they're going to sell their home, whether there's a 55 and over development in Hastings. That, to me, they may just say, oh, great, now it gives me an opportunity not to have to go to Ardsley or wherever those houses exist, or Yonkers. So I think that there's going to be a turnover in houses, and that'll probably be, the bigger impact is taxes, people leaving and turning over homes, than potentially having, 10 units of 55 and over. So I wouldn't think that would be a problem for us. And, and again, having new students come in the district's not a bad thing, but I think there's, as we all know, we've talked about many times, the majority of our households do not have students currently in the district. So there will be a time, as we know, with, definitely seeing all of us, the impact of inflation and just even Con Ed bills and all the rest. I think, the people will be leaving regardless of that. I think it allows for some of those people to remain in Hastings, which I think is a good thing, and also gives us money because, again, currently, those properties do not generate any money. They're fully exempt, so.
Yeah.
It'd be nice.
Go ahead.
Please.
No, I was going to say.
I was just going to say anything. I was going to say, Jody, what do you have to say?
I just wanted to give a shout out to Catherine's daughter, who had an excellent article in the Dispatch a week or so ago on the front page about Hastings and downtown. And I personally think it's incredibly depressing to walk through the downtown.
Totally.
It is just.
Like 5 businesses went out of business in the past 2 months. It's depressing. And they're not only empty, but their butcher paper has
boarded up,
fallen,
not
and it's
boarded, but
crooked,
paper.
and it just looks so
Just to walk down Warburton, not even the other.
desolate.
And I'm sorry, I didn't read the article, but I will. Was there, what was reported, was it that the businesses didn't have enough
Foot traffic.
for traffic or parking?
And the
like
rents are
parking?
high.
Okay, yeah.
No, parking is like a nice to have, I think, free
Right.
parking, but there's no foot traffic. There's no foot traffic because there's no place to go from store to store to store like Tarrytown, and the rents are too high.
It's always been a struggle. It's a struggle in Hastings, right? We're only a mile and a quarter wide, right? We got a river on one side, we got a highway on one side.
So do the other river towns, though.
Sure, but then they also have us to the south.
Irvington and have the whole waterfront. It's all commercial.
Now it is, yeah.
But I think in the article, it was very much about foot traffic, and I think that I've actually started talking to some of the merchants in town about it, and restaurant owners.
But
I think the foot traffic, I think they're very happy about in November coming, no free parking. No, not no free parking. Starting in November, free parking
parking, yeah.
downtown. I think you'd be surprised at how much the merchants are very much in favor of that. But I think there was a lot said in the article also about the incentives that aren't there for merchants and the incentives for some buildings to stay empty and tax.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I didn't know if that was
You can
covered in
grieve
the
your
article.
taxes.
That's actually, part of the way the tax certiorari laws are written. It's, depending for people who own a lot of property, it's advantageous for them to be empty because they get the investment, but they get the ability to abate the taxes on it because they're not based upon, the way your home is, if your home was empty, you're still paying the property taxes. If your commercial building is empty, you don't, you get a refund of your property taxes. And depending upon your portfolio and your business model, that's not an uncommon thing anywhere, that
Is that
they
a
put-
law, or could this?
No, well, the
can
tax,
town
no.
change that?
The town can change it because it's not a tax law, it's a tax certiorari, which is, it's designed, right, for people who are, I think it's a New York State probably law, that if it's the same as like the condos and townhouses here. If you had a condo and you owned it and it was empty, you could grieve the taxes because you may say, I'd rather just do that because it's more advantageous to me than to have more income that'll hurt my federal tax filing. Like it's within the taxes, but the way the tax certiorari, those properties are not, like if they're empty, though there may be, because people who own them, it may be more advantageous to them and they raise the rents. They could rent it at a lower cost, but they choose not to because it may be better for them financially. I'm saying that is the way it works and that is what I believe is happening. But the other thing with foot traffic, and I will say, because I won't say what, but my brother is a business owner downtown and is relatively, like he said, every business relies on out-of-town people. Like it would be foolish of anyone to think that a business could be supported solely by people in Hastings, nor is that fair to think that. Every business needs to have out-of-town people to support it, which requires parking. And accessibility, and that's not a knock on Hastings, it's just you're in a landlocked place. So I don't think that that's an insignificant piece when people are coming to shop. And especially with like the way the meters are, which is everywhere. I know my mother, who now cannot operate anything, but could not have done that 2 years ago, like the apps, and that's everywhere.
Ridiculous.
It's not fair to like elderly people, I had a hard time when I first had to transition
And every
myself.
town has a different app.
No, it's hard. No, and
Not
that's not a
Irvington.
Hastings thing, that's just a technology thing.
Not Irvington.
I do think
They
that,
got no apps.
just circling back, so I think the fact that the village is interested in partnering
Yes.
with the districts on these types of discussions, whether it be housing developments or even commercial real estate.
have to.
I mean, all of this is very part and parcel of our system and thinking about our tax base and who's coming to our schools, and that impacts our programs, so.
And our budget
Here.
going forward.
So with that, I don't think we need to vote on that, or do we need to vote that we're attending that?
No, it says FYI.
Just a heads up, just an FYI. All right. Moving on to second public comment. Come on, Hastings. Show up to
Lena.
these meetings.
Come on,
Lena doesn't live in Hastings.
Anyone could
Next-
comment even if you don't live here.
Next item, we have our agenda review for
close
next
it.
year.
Just close
Any questions about our agenda for next year's slate of Board of Ed meetings?
I haven't reviewed it, but we can always come back and amend, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
And I guess the other question is, does this sprinkle in the topics that we've talked about needing frequent updates, like technology or budget?
Yeah. It's a-
Various things.
Yeah, as far as I just looked at it quickly again, and we're anticipating the architects to come the end of September. We would like that first meeting with the opening of school to be kind of focused on that. So as an example, that's not indicated on here. I believe, Melissa, you may have some of the budget, what we anticipate around the budget, certain legal things that may be sprinkled in because we kind of know what those dates are. But we definitely have to layer in all the construction updates, which I think it will be a lot more than we had last year, right? Because we're going to be in the full throes of it. And it will require, at times, even probably weekly updates from the architects or construction managers to the board.
And to your point, Maureen, there are some discrete curricular updates that are built in, but also the administrative comments, and if we need to add a presentation, we can certainly do that.
Good stuff, thank you.
Is it board comment time?
Not quite yet.
Oh,
We're going to vote. We're going to vote on this. We're going to vote on the agenda. Do we have to vote on the agenda?
No, it's just FYI.
Also an FYI. So now I'm going to open for board comments. Before I say that, and my apologies for not adding this earlier, it goes without saying that we're missing somebody here. That's a big part of our Hastings family, and that's Bill, who is spending time with his family due to the loss of his father, Robert McCursey. If anybody has read Mr. McCursey, or is it Dr. McCursey? Are they both doctors? Dr. McCursey's obituary. This man was obviously a lion in his profession, and certainly had an impact on so many people that he worked with, and certainly I'm thankful for having Bill here in our district. I'd like to make a motion to dedicate this meeting to Dr. McCursey. Do I have a motion on the floor?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. So this meeting will be dedicated to Dr. McCursey, obviously, and we miss Bill and looking forward to getting him back. That being said, any board comments from the board?
thank you for acknowledging the passing of Bill's dad. Lena is here, though I don't think I'm allowed to talk directly to you. So I'll talk to Jody and the mic and hope that the middle school principal listens. Middle school parents are concerned about language, which I'm so happy you were a language teacher, and that's an area of expertise for you. I'm a fifth. My daughter was in fifth grade this year, and the French and Spanish introduction disappeared, and we didn't hear anything about it. And all of a sudden, I was like, "What do you mean you didn't have any Spanish this year and any French? And how are you going to know what to take?" And and I think the teachers pushed in and just said hello, but there was a lack of communication to families about the change, and so I think parents would love an update on language status in the middle school. I think there's now like a cultural introduction in fifth grade. I don't know, but that would be really welcome. And I don't have to tell you, because I think you know how important language is the earlier you start. So hoping for a robust language experience in middle school, as many parents and students are vicariously, or the other way around. I'm vicariously hoping for a robust language middle school experience.
Thank you, Teresa. Any other board comments?
I just want to thank you guys for the gift. It's very, very kind. Thank you.
Anyone else? I just want to say one thing, just as it pertains to everybody trusting me to be board president. It's not something I take lightly, and while I recognize the additional workload and how that might affect everything in my life, I couldn't be more excited to take on this responsibility. As a representative of you all and of this school district and of this village. I said this when I ran for the board, and I'm going to just kind of repeat the principles that I hope to bring in this role, which is just being as transparent as possible to you all, sharing as much information as I have with you all as we do this, and being proactive as I do that. Being as organized as I can, making sure that we have all the information we need on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, so that we're prepared to make important and critical decisions. To be as compassionate and empathetic as possible to you all, to our administration, to our teachers and our students and everybody, community with children, without children, who are all a part of this community. And I'm just so excited. I'm going to be a little quiet on the mic because I kind of always am quiet on the mic. I don't know why, but I'm really excited to work with everybody in this new capacity, and it's something that I'm going to kind of really lean in on. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
Well said.
Thank you for volunteering, and I don't know if the community knows what the extra workload really is. It's quite a lift. It's quite a lift. So thank you. It's fitting that you, as a Hastings alum, are sitting there. I mean, it is,
Welcome.
Really dressed with
Your
green
colors.
Yeah.
Colors,
I don't know if you noticed that I often wear green and gold
Yeah.
to our board meetings.
Thank you.
Noticed that. The hat, the yellow hat, especially.
I have a lot of that.
And thank you to your family for giving you the extra hours and energy that are.
Do they know?
My husband always says, "Oh, another meeting. You're making so much money doing this." Oh, wait, you're not making any money. So thank you to your family.
Yeah, they get it. I don't know why, but they do. And yeah, it's 30 years. I graduated. I was class of '96, so it's really exciting just to see at graduation and to talk about all these things and thinking about where I was 30 years ago, where I can imagine all of these children are going to be 30 years from now. And being a part of this legacy for what I can only describe as just being an exceptional place. You guys know I'm all fans of this town,
Yeah,
and
it's lovely.
I just think this place is truly the best, and that's why I care so much and do so much to do the work to help to make it better every day. So
You gave me an idea when you were asking about an alumni network.
Yeah.
I know some towns have a donating alumni network for certain programs and initiatives, and that would be so fantastic. I don't know how it works financially, but that would be really cool.
what does that mean? Donating
Alumni donate money, and
Arm of HEF, almost.
yeah, like another HEF.
Oh.
But be kind of fantastic to not just have to rely on property taxes.
I like that. Well,
So in your spare time,
yeah, well, class of
You can
96.
find any.
Yeah, we got a 30th reunion October 17th, so yeah, maybe
Wow.
we could hit some people up for cash.
The hat out, yeah.
I bet you can find someone who has some spare time.
Oh my God, I'm
Dave,
actually.
I just want to say that I think we're all really excited to have you as president and Catherine as vice president, and I think we all have great faith in both of you, and we very much are in it with you. We're not just going to just kind of throw you out there, and we're going to support you, and Alex will provide good stewardship, I think. And I agree that I think that notion of you as a son of Hastings, child of Hastings, keep it out of the sons and daughters. It's very moving, particularly at this time when we're going to be moving into a lot of work that we have to do and think about in terms of how we move forward and what we do with budget stuff next year. I think you're going to be a great person in this role, but we're going to be here to support you.
I appreciate it. It's a consequential year. We got a lot of stuff. Building new buildings, building new fields. Talking about technology in classrooms. Everyone's talking about technology in classrooms.
We will more than the
Everybody's,
rest.
we got a lot to do. I'm excited. Catherine and I are both excited. So let's get at it. With that, does anybody else on the board have comments? Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting, please?
So moved?
Is there a second to the motion?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, that's the end of this meeting.